Good day, and welcome back to What Are You Going to Do with That Lemon? This platform I formed just to share with our community about what's going on, things that we're really truly not talking about and that we're not getting out to the community to let people know what we need help on and how we could help in our community. And today I have two beautiful friends of mine. They are my beautiful friends, and Dr. Tracy Carter. I call him my doctor. I call you doctor.
Yeah.
Officer.
Thank you for
Officer Tracy Carter. That for all the wonderful things he does in our community, and I call him my son because he started in Como, working at NPO, and that's how I first met him years ago. And the beautiful Dr. Smith. That we've been friends for about a year or 2 years now, and her wonderful work in our community with our children. So one of the things, the limit for me today is being a single mom and raising a boy. And my son is 47 now, so he's a grown boy.
Still your boy.
Yeah, but I was always concerned about his safety, and I called it our black and brown boys endangered species because they're endangered by things they're combated by. It's just so easy for them to fall into one of the barriers. So I asked Officer Carter to come here today and Dr. Smith because we do have some wonderful programs here in Fort Worth that we're doing. I don't think you guys know about it. So we want to share about these programs and see how you can get involved. And we're going to start with you, Dr. Smith. So you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Dr. Myeshia Smith. I serve as the Executive Director for Operation Progress Fort Worth. And I've been in this position for 4 years.
Let's talk about your program.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know. I didn't know. So share with us about what you're doing and where you're doing it, and then how we could do better to assist you.
Okay, so I'm very excited to talk about Operation Progress. It was replicated from Operation Progress Los Angeles. At the time, Deputy Chief Noakes and Dr. Nan from TCU, they went to LA. They heard about this program, went to LA to go visit, and they saw the impactful work there. And Deputy Chief Noakes said, we need this in Fort Worth. They came back to Fort Worth. They hired me as the inaugural executive director. We started off with 5 students. The area that they chose to serve is Como. Como is such an amazing neighborhood with rich history, proud people, fun activities, support, but there's also challenges in Como. And so I came in, it really reminds me of the community that I grew up in. I'm originally from Houston, and when I first came and started working with our scholars, I saw myself in those students. I remember hearing the statistics about women, about Black women, about individuals who came from my community, and it was very disheartening for me. I'm so fortunate and so grateful that I had a supportive church family, a supportive family. I had a young mom who was very responsible and allowed God to lead her in raising my sister and I. And she always says, God gave me shepherd over you two, and I don't take that responsibility lightly. And I remember going to college and being scared of what is that thing that stops people from graduating, because I knew people who went to college but didn't finish college, and so I was always nervous of that. And when I didn't know what that thing was, but I knew it was something. And so when I went to college and I was progressing along, and then I remember my last semester, I said to my mom, I think I want to go to grad school. And then I was like, what you think about me getting my doctorate? And she was so supportive. And I had to navigate those systems because for grad school, I didn't have any examples. And when I walked across the stage, I said that And forgive me, but I said, I want to be able to be example for other girls.
Yes. I love that.
That if I can do it, you can do it, because
Exactly.
I'm no smarter than you. I'm fortunate to have supports. So I said all of that to say, Operation Progress, that's what we do. We provide the scholars in our program with the supports to maximize their greatest potential. And so we start with them third, fourth grade. We impose high expectations, but we also provide a high level of support. So our expectation is for them to maintain a 3.0 GPA. And so we also provide tutoring for them at least twice a week from college age students that serve as interns for us. We provide academic case management because it's easier for me to address the problem in week 3 if I know the specific issue is place value versus waiting until you get your report card and I just see a D in math and I don't know where the issue was. And so I have constant communication with the teachers, with the parents to provide that academic support. We have partnerships with TCU, TWU, and Boston College that have agreed to scholarships for our scholars. Scholarships to TCU and TWU have agreed to 2 scholarships per year. Boston College, 1 scholarship per year.
Is that a full ride with
Academic
only?
tuition,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. And so that's an opportunity for our scholars. And right now, our oldest scholars are going into 9th grade, and so that's something that they have to look forward to. And academics is a huge component of our program. The second component is our expanded learning program, which is really the support outside of the classroom. And so that is, we focus on social emotional learning. We focus on health and wellness. We focus on the parent. For many of our families, their first time interacting with a mental health professional is when they participate in our mandatory parenting journey course. And that's facilitated by a licensed clinical social worker. Just Right Therapeutic Solutions provides that. Rolinda Wright, she is a Black woman who has been a mom by giving birth. She's adopted and served as a foster mom. So she has different avenues of parenting. And that initially is our greatest pushback from parents because, they're protective.
They're guarded.
Yes.
What goes on at home stays at home.
Yes. And they also have given me great feedback from that once they go through the process.
Once you get them to go through.
Yes,
but that's
because
a mandatory
it's
process,
a mandatory component for first-year parents. And what they learn is they learn about self-empowerment as a parent. They build community amongst each other, and they learn about topics such as development, breaking generational curses, being a proactive versus reactive parent, self-care. And you're not the only one who 11-year-old is having an attitude.
Right.
And so they build community. One parent say, oh, this is what I tried. This is what works well for me. And another parent can share, I'm struggling with this. Group, how can you help? And so I'm very proud of that. And we celebrate that and make a big deal. We have a graduation for them. Chief Note serves as the keynote speaker because they make that commitment and they let down their guard and let us in.
That's beautiful. Now, tell me, I always see you around a lot of police officers, so I know you always feel safe. So tell me how Officer Carter and our Fort Worth Police Department are engaged in what you're doing. Share that.
That's the third part of our program, the mentorship piece. That's probably the most impactful part. So Operation Progress scholars are paired with a Fort Worth PD officer that serves as a mentor. And our families apply through an application and they're interviewed because we want to make sure our program is a good fit for them as well as they're a good fit for us, because we start with these kids from 3rd grade and we stay with them throughout college graduation. So that's a huge commitment. And we're asking that same commitment for the officers. And so we need to make sure that they're a good fit too, and that they are invested in this mission, in these scholars long term, because the goal is for you, the officers, to serve as a positive role model.
So let me ask you. So you said that your first group is in what grade now? From where the first
Our first group is started. They're ending their 8th grade year, and they'll be going into high school now. And we started with 5. We have 20 scholars.
Now let me shift over to you, Officer Carter. So tell me how you guys got involved, and I know Chief probably got you involved. So, but I see you guys because y'all have a couple of different programs and y'all interact. So share with us and tell us how you're involved with this program.
Well, I'll tell you this first. Let me just kind of go. I'm Officer Carter. I been on Fort Worth PD for 17 years. I started on patrol as a patrol officer, and then I got selected as a neighborhood police officer in Como, which is how we met, right? Mm-hmm. And Como reminds me of a neighborhood where I grew up in, which is Stop 6, on the east side of Fort Worth. And so it was we studied some trials and tribulations over here, but I felt at home when I was working here, right? And so the thing was, I was lucky enough working here. We had a Chief Fitzgerald. I thank him every day. He brought me into the chief's office. From that point on, I was able to branch out and work with some different programs. Going there was how I got to work with Operation Progress and some of the kids. For us, we know that in communities like this, we want to improve social, as far as our social interactions with kids along the way, as far as police officers. This was Operation Progress was easy. We have the right officers, and I believe right person, right seat. You put the right officers with some of these kids, it can break down barriers where these kids can call on that police officer as an uncle, as a father figure, whatever. And we're seeing that those changes with the right officers. We're seeing some of the stuff that we're doing with these kids. And Chief Neil Noakes he's an amazing dude. You know what I mean? And so for us, I mean, it's a no-brainer. We're just, as new officers come into the department, we're bringing them in. So when they want to volunteer and just showing them, hey man, give him back, and people want to see that. And we don't want to force them to do it. We want them to do it because they want to do it, and so that's how we're involved with it.
So how do you? So the officers, I know they work all day and they're exhausted. They want to go home to their families. So how do you get them engaged in being a mentor?
Well, what we do is we try to start them out in the academy. We go and speak with them. I'm one of the ones that bring, as you've seen, you've been a part of. We bring recruits to the neighborhoods to kind of see where they're going to be policing. We talk to them about this early. Again, these officers are just like kids. You got to get with them early and just kind of let them understand. You don't want to let them get along in their careers, or as with kids, you get older, it's kind of hard to change the direction back. So we tell them about it early in the academy, like this is something they can be a part of. And then what happens is they see their friends doing it, and they get to donate at least an hour a week.
That's for the expectation. It's for them to interact with their scholar at least 1 hour per week. That interaction can be something on the weekend, an outing outside of school, going to eat lunch with them at the school, going to a soccer game or a choir event. And then I want to say that Chief Noakes allows officers to mentor on duty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and so again, then here's the caveat to that. You have competition sometimes. So some of these officers give a little bit more. They want like, hey, I'm going to take my scholar here. Yeah, what you do? And so with that's a healthy exchange of competition that these kids love. And I think you're seeing it's not only helping the kids, it's helping the officers. You know what I mean? And so that's the one thing. When you see something come full circle, that's the most amazing thing.
So you got a shop with the cop?
Yes, one of the things we do with the OP kids, we do shop with the cop. I'm able to do that. I started that a few years ago with Coach Pat Brown. We just wanted to help kids with officers that we brought them in, give them a gift card, and we shop with them, fellowship with them, feed them.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. And so it's something that has grown. We're looking to keep it growing. And one of the things is now I'm on the River Tree board, thanks to you. Yes, I would love to get the River Tree kids involved. And again, it's just a part of fellowshipping. And they see officers in a different light, and that's the main thing.
That's important.
Yeah, and so you come in some of the meetings that we have, and one of the things we really, really enjoy is because I have good community support, we have people that don't see eye to eye with things, but you don't have to, and that's okay. But we all can see that the result is we just want positive change.
Come together in the end.
And come together in the end.
For the
And so yes, Shop with the Cop, Operation Progress, and a lot of these things that we're talking about, they kind of all tie together. So again, with Dr. Myeshia Smith, with you, Dr. Stanley, it's just for us, man. I'm telling you, it makes my job a lot easier. You know what I mean? So
Well, I think for me, coming into the beyond the badge, and so getting to come to that meeting, and I'll let you share about that. Getting to come to that meeting, it lets me know what's going on in the community, and then that the officers are available, and then we need to let the officers know in our community, hey, I'm right here if you need me. I got your back.
Right.
You know,
right.
because sometimes the people just put up walls against the officers, but we got to work together. So tell us about Beyond the Badge.
Beyond the Badge started again probably about 8 years ago. And it started when Chief Neil Noakes was a commander. And we kind of started this together. And Buck Wheeler, who was a lieutenant at the time. As we know, Chief Noakes is the chief of police at this time. Buck Wheeler is now a deputy chief, and they kind of helped start this. And we brought community members in. We had hard conversations. We brought not only community members in, we brought our stakeholders. We brought officers in from all ranks, and we would talk about hard-hitting subjects. And nothing was off limits, because when you find out people get in some circles, especially with law enforcement, they get scared to talk about stuff.
Right.
You can't get, and that's where you don't get the change, and people need to hear, they need to express themselves. And so anyway, we started that. We bring people in. If you have something going on in your neighborhood, we state it, we talk about it. If there's a big issue going on that's going on in Fort Worth, just whatever, we try to address that. And with Beyond the Badge, as it's grown, city council members come, some of their staff comes. What we've seen is, and I credit this to everybody that comes, we've seen other cities have reached out to us about what we're doing to try to create their own. So it's for me, it's an open forum to where, I mean, it's amazing, that we get to talk about things, and that's all for me. I'll say this. My dad passed away last June, and he said, people don't want to know how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so when we started this, I have a bunch of smart people, African-American people, Hispanic people, white people, all different collections of people coming to a group that's caring about their community and caring about what's going on. To me, that's all you can ask for. So when people talk about is Fort Worth leading the nation and stuff, yes. And out of that, I got to share this. We had on yesterday, I don't know when this is going to be aired, but on yesterday we had our first annual CJ graduation, where out of Beyond the Badge.
Okay, what's CJ?
Okay, CJ, Criminal Justice Graduation, where we bring kids in. No other, and I'm proud to say this, no other state, no other police department has kids that come into their academy. These kids came to our academy 2 days a week from Fourth ISD.
I remember when y'all started.
We started, and we had the first graduation. And what we've done with those kids is they have jobs while they're going to graduate if they don't want to go to college, and we give them jobs within the city. And it was because of Chief Neil Noakes and letting Myeshia, myself, some of the other officers be visionaries. Some of the ideas that we've had, he's like taking them in. Okay, let's go with them, and I credit him for all of that. So again, I want to just share that.
I love that. So. Dr. Smith, what else? What's your vision? And then this program is operated on funds, and so if people want to donate to that fund, how can they donate?
So yes, we are a nonprofit. All of our services are free. Whenever we do an event, an outing with the kids, it's free because we do want to expose them to different activities.
Well, you took them shopping, and then y'all went cooking.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Because we have 5 pillars of success, and those are academics, health and wellness, safety and support, life skills, and service.
Oh, I love that. That's important.
Absolutely. And our scholars know what a nonprofit is. They understand a nonprofit, and they understand that our way of saying thank you to the community is through community service. Because our community, and I say our because Como has embraced me as well. our community has invested into this organization and into these scholars, and it is our way to say thank you by giving back to the community. So we have quarterly community service that is mandatory. That there's no compromise
Y'all
on
helped
that
us
part.
in the Como Community Garden.
Yes,
Y'all did some
we
things down
did.
there, and
Yes.
you did something at the on Bonnell at the police officers.
Yes,
storefront,
ma'am.
at the
Yes,
storefront.
ma'am.
Yeah.
So we try to give back, or we're intentional about giving back to Como. So yeah, we painted and I'm doing it too. And some of the things I'm learning too, because I am not very handy, and so when we were painting, I was like, oh, I need hair ties for the girls and to put my hair back too. And then like the life skills thing, we learned how to repair a fence. We repaired a fence here in Como.
That's our garden, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's very rewarding. But these services are free for our scholars and our families. And a way that individuals can help is go to our website, www.operationprogressfw.org, and click on the donate button. And that will allow us to continue to serve our scholars, our families, and our community.
Yeah, and I want to send a shout out to Officer Nicholson, because he's our NPO right now, and he's always available to me when I call on him in our community. And he reached out to me when one of the young men, and was that his mentor that he had helped him at the
No,
so just
no, but he is an Operation Progress mentor, but not that particular student.
So he brought a young man out, and I could see from my window them working on that fence, and him and that young man, he was right there with him, working in his uniform with that young man on that, and showing him how to put that fence back together, and going to Lowe's and getting the pieces that were missing from the fence and then painting it. And they did a great job. So I want to send a shout out to Officer Nicholson. And today is May the 3rd. So when this airs, then they'll know what day you were talking about. So it's many opportunities. So if we want to sign our children up for these different programs, because are they referred from like IDEA, or referred from River Tree, or they referred from, how are the children referred?
So we take scholars from all over, but our partner schools are River Tree Academy and Miss Indy's Christian Academy. Those are our elementary based schools. And our middle school, Idea Rise, is a partner school, and we have scholars at some other schools, but those are our official partner schools.
Okay. And then what would you like to say about partnership, with partnership for more community partnership?
Well, I'll tell you, the more community partnerships we have, the better. I mean, we want to be transparent. We want people to come in. If they would love to come to Beyond the Badge, we meet once a month. We used to meet every 2 weeks, but we meet once a month, the first Tuesday of every month at 9:30 a.m. at the Bob Bolin Center, 505 West Felix. We'd love for you to come in, just kind of see what we talk about, and if you would like to get on the agenda, we can do that. But one of the bigger things that we're trying to do going forward is with the Shop with a Cop. We want to make that as big as we can. So I work with a good friend of mine that Dr. Smith knows is Dr. Robert Harper. We have a nonprofit called the Hope Initiative, where that's how we're able to fund the kids going to Shop with the Cop. And we would like, if somebody would like to donate to that, we welcome it, because it allows us to get more students in to do that, more officers involved. The officers absolutely love this, and so again, it's a fun fellowship. We feed them, we get to talk to them. So if anybody would like to donate to that, I guess they can.
So how much does it cost to fund one child?
Well, we try to give a $100 gift card to each child is what we try to do. Sometimes we're not able if they have bigger families, but when we exhaust all the means, we get as many. Like this year, we're able to fund about 157 kids. So, and it was great, and so look, we want to reach that limit each time.
And you said the kids were buying stuff for their siblings.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Shop with the Cop.
Yes.
And I think you're being very humble about Shop with the Cop. it is a very, I think, a transformative experience, because you see community members, and I'm including our babies as community members, and you see them interacting with officers in a non-enforcement way, and what they're doing is they're building relationships, because you hear the conversations that they're having about family. You hear them talking about, I want to get my mom this gift, I want to get my dad this gift, I want to get my brother this, oh, I want to get my abuela this. And it's the Christmas time, and their hearts, they have very giving hearts, and they're so excited. Absolutely. And they're proud of these gifts. And then I hear you hear officers reminding the students, hey, don't forget to get yourself something.
Yes.
And then not just that, this is the piece that you forgot about. After we're done shopping, they have an opportunity to wrap the gifts. So the gifts that they bought for their family members, they get to wrap them and put them under the Christmas tree or wherever they're storing their Christmas gifts, because the reality is not all of the families have Christmas trees.
Absolutely.
Well, we have to make, now that's a new project. We got to make sure everybody has a Christmas tree.
I like it.
Thank you guys. I know both of y'all are busy. I've been bugging Officer Carter about getting on this forum for me, and now Dr. Smith was ready.
Yeah, she's always ready.
She's always ready. Just thank you. I just love you so much.
I love you too. You know that.
He is always just available for me, and he's so busy. And when I have a question, because we have a safe place ourselves. We were just educating him on how a nonprofit operates. A nonprofit on funding either private funding or a city funding or government funding. So we were breaking it down. He was asking really innocent questions that people don't know about. Yes. What was he asking you?
He asked. He said, "So do you always get the grants?" And we're like, "No."
He thought it was ongoing and ongoing. No, we got to make sure they got to share. In their defense, they got to share the wealth. These donors have to share the wealth. But I have a safe place with him I can call.
Absolutely.
With questions about safety, about the police officers, and he always makes sure when he left here as an MPO, he made sure we had a good officer. That was Officer Gray, and then after Officer Gray was Officer Nichols.
And you're going to have now a little general, as we call my little cousin Billy Gray. He's going to be promoting to Sergeant Gray here pretty soon.
One thing about officers in Como, MPOs always get promoted. So the experience here must be wonderful.
It's very much so. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Everybody gets promoted. So I just laughed. He told me that, and I said, okay, I'm not surprised. But that's one thing. I keep their numbers, and if they get a new number, I get the new number.
You can always have it. You know that.
I love when you bring the new recruits. Now, at that point, they're not new recruits. They're getting ready to graduate, the officers, because we want police officers to understand our community. We want them to understand when they're coming to our community, they have to feel, you don't need to be afraid, because if you're afraid, you're afraid. So, but let's address that and address your fears, and then be comfortable and get to know and cultivate relationships in your community as a new police officer. That's what he lets me talk to him.
So let me say here, she's being, again, I'm going to use this, she's being modest as well. The reason we did that was because of Dr. Sandra and some of the other people in East Side. We did that because we listened to what y'all wanted to hear and what the officers, right? Not everybody grew up here in Fort Worth, and so we wanted to bring that factor in where they come to the neighborhoods first in a non-policing role and get to meet the community members. You was an integral part of that. I mean, and we appreciate it, and that's something, again, as our chief, he embraced it, and we're going to continue to grow it. The people coming after us, that's what they're going to continue to do. So, hey, this is why I say it takes all of us, and that's what we're trying to interject all of that together.
So we're just going to end today. I thank you guys for spending time with me today. We talked about a crucial element, which is our youth, our children that are truly at risk, because I feel that it's even more so at risk. There's so many other obstacles out in the community that have barriers for them to be successful. So if we can embrace them in many ways and other programs and what's available. So some parents might not know what's available for their children as they struggle because they have to work. So we thank you for tuning in today, and don't forget to hit subscribe and follow us. What are you going to do with that lemon? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.